everybody, welcome to my channel. Today we're going to talk about parental burnout. I'm Rita and today it's all about you. Parental burnout is intensive, extreme exhaustion caused by the daily stress of parenting, and usually it starts with the sleep deprivation. Even this is not the only cause, and this can cause that parents feel detached from their children and also make the self-confidence a little bit lower because parents start to doubt about themselves and about their skills to take care of their own children. This is a very specific type of burnout. It has nothing to do with the usual one that we know about it, which is much more linked to stress related to work environment and the type of work. It's also very distinctive from clinical depression because the effects are beyond stress and lead to a numb state. People usually that feel the burnout related to parenting, they only feel this way in things related to parenting their children. So they are totally function in other areas of their lives, in work, in social life, and so on. So this is an exhaustion, but this is only linked with the parenting and the act of parenting children, and particularly small children. And this is why this is not really any kind of depression, because parents function in a much more motivated and energetic way in the other parts of their lives. And this is the reason why this is so controversial, because usually parents are even ashamed to admit that they are overwhelmed with their children, that they cannot do anymore. They feel that they are just above the normal circumstances and that they are beyond their abilities to do what they have to do in their daily life. We always sometimes hear a very stressed mom saying that she can't do this any longer, or that she's so tired that she would like to just take a break for some moments, and this is not possible for her. This is something that it's really serious, and that it's something that it's really starting now that we can talk about it, because until now was a little bit of a taboo, because we don't really feel that the love for the children are in check. Which are in check, or what is in check, is the ability to really do all the things that parents have to do, especially in small children. And this exhaustion and this tiredness just lose the total direction that a parent, a mother or a father can have or may have to their own children. They start even to doubt that they are able to take care of their children. They are starting to doubt that they have any kind of skills for this matter, and they doubt about all of the things that they can do with their children. Because this is something that we only start to talk about it now. This is something that even most of the physicians doesn't really recognize as a problem, and most of the times they just misdiagnose a person with depression, and all the medicines or the therapeutic ways of dealing with depression doesn't do any good with, or doesn't really help with this kind of burnout, and may even do the opposite way and make parents feel a little bit trapped in these emotions and thinking that there's something really, really wrong about themselves. The seriousness of this topic and the seriousness of this kind of burnout, it's that this can even lead parents to something a little bit more deeper that can be related to parent neglection, violence, substance abuse, food or sleep deprivation, psychosomatic complaints, and even self-harm and suicidal idealization. So this is serious, and this is really something that we have to address, because this can really lead to very, very serious problems, not just for the parents but also for the children. And here I leave you with the most common signs of parenting burnout, which is something that, as I told you before, is not just now starting to talk about, and is something that you, if you feel some of the symptoms, don't be ashamed to look for somebody that is really understanding this issue, and particularly a professional mental health provider that is really into this topic, and that makes sure that this is something that it's not misdiagnosed, because it can be even worse for you. So the first sign is that your own inner self, it tells you that you pass your breaking point. You feel constantly physical and emotional drained and overwhelmed with all the children's situation. The other sign is when you think that maybe you need some kind of professional help. Another sign, they are urges. So if you feel that you feel some kind of violent urge, it can also be a sign of postpartum mood disorder, but it can also be a sign of parental burnout, and the result may be very, very dangerous for your child and for yourself. So this is a really strong sign that you have to immediately seek a professional help. Another sign is when your relationships are based on really discussions, and really bad discussions, particularly with the co-parent of your child. So if he's your partner or not, it doesn't matter. It just matters that you cannot stop arguing about anything and everything with the co-parent. Another sign is disconnection. You may feel disconnect from your child. Instead, you feel that you are creating reward feelings. You feel your child as a burden. You may even start to resent your child's presence, and in this case you really have to seek for the most close help, that usually is the co-parent, and you have to have a schedule to give you time to be away of this situation in order for you to feel a little bit stronger. And you should not feel any kind of shame or guilt, and understand that this may happen, and probably this happened to a lot of people. Unfortunately, we are in a position in a society that only now we are starting to talk about this, and this is not really a rejection about your motherhood or your parenthood, but this is just feelings and emotions that you have to learn to deal with for you to be able to deal with your child too. You may even not really realize it, but it's possible that you are neglecting your physical, emotional and educational needs of your children, and this is something that it's really important, and it's something that you really have to try to analyze in a much more rational way as you can, and really seek some kind of help to help you deal with all of these feelings and all of these things that you may even feel can even lead you to other feelings of guilt and low confidence and low self-esteem. It's also possible that instead that you neglect your kids, you start to neglect yourself, not even thinking that you have time for take a shower, for an healthy eating, for a nap when your children are napping too. And these are just the basic things that anybody needs. The last sign that I want to talk about, I think it's the most important one, because it's related to self-harm and suicide. This is a matter because it's so deeply connected with our emotions, what we idolize when we think we may want to become a parent, and this is totally against all the projections and all the plans that we have. And on top of it, we look to other persons and to other people that has children, and they don't seem like to feel all of these overwhelming feelings. So this is something that it really affects our ways of seeing the things that for us it's the most pressure, which are our children and our children's well-being. So the first thing you have to do is don't compare yourself with other moms or other parents, because each person is different and you never know what is happening in the other person's life. So most of the times we see a different image that it's a bit different from the reality, and this is something that I want to tell you personally, that you really need to focus on yourself and not really think that other people are doing just great and you are the one that is not be able to even be with your children. So understand that comparing is very wrong and leave this habit. Seek immediately help when you feel any kind of urges related to violence against your children or against yourself, or even suicidal thoughts about all of these issues that we've been talking about here. Search for a prevention suicidal hotline that probably in your area you have, and try to seek some help in a case that you don't know where to go to, or you don't know to whom you can talk to. This is something that it's safe. You will be talking to professionals. Nobody will judge you. You will be able to see a professional that really can help you. Also, if you feel these kind of urges, try to not be alone. Try to see if you can be with some kind of your family members that you feel that you can trust, or that you feel that you are more close. Try to be with your friends that again you trust, and try not to be alone in these times, because this can really be dangerous for your children or even for yourself. And if you can, and if it's something that it makes sense in your mind, talk to your partner, talk to the co-parent of your children, because both of you are trying to make a job, you are trying to do something for your children, for your family, and you need help in this case, and this is the closest person that you can have, and it's the person that he can eventually help you, even if he's in the same position and in the same situation as you. Remember that people have different experience about parenting, and that overwhelming feelings and that feelings that really make you doubt about yourself, you don't have to have them all the time. You can really have a different feelings, and you can have different emotions toward your children, toward the parenting in general. And seeking for professional help, you will find the joy of parenting again, and you will reach a point where you feel happy about all the things that you live with your family and with your children. So that's all for today, guys. I hope you like it. I hope you subscribe to the channel, leave a thumbs up, share with a friend, comment if you want, and I'll see you next time for another video. Bye!